What's up, guys? I'm Chris, and today you're watching a beginner's guide to magic resources. Welcome to the channel, and thanks for tuning in. If you're new here, please subscribe to the channel, like the video, ring that notification bell so you don't miss a video, review, things like that, and comment on what started your journey in magic. What did you use? What resources were available to you, or what did you purchase early on? In this video, I'm going to go over the resources that I started with. A lot of them are DVDs. These were DVDs that piqued my interest in magic. Now, this isn't to say that these are by any means the best resources out there. Okay, these are just where I started, and I feel like these gave me a good starting foundation. It gave me a good understanding, and it kept me interested. Some of the fundamentals, the books that everybody refers to when it comes to card magic, coin magic, really magic in general, they won't be in here. Now, I did go to purchase these later on once I had established an interest in magic that I knew wasn't going to just dissipate after, a few weeks or a few months or even a few years. But these really piqued my interest at the time and kept me interested. What I am going over today are pretty much things that you can find anywhere. You probably already have. They're gimmickless, so you don't need to worry about going out and buying additional things. Maybe you have to throw in a duplicate card or a card from another deck to make some of these work, but there's nothing that you need to go out and buy that's extra or special. It pays off to get your hands on the right stuff in the beginning, right? So there are a lot of YouTube videos out there, a lot of tutorials. Some are really good. However, some of them aren't going to teach you a good basis. They're not going to give you a good foundation, and if you learn the wrong ways early on, you start creating bad habits early on, and that carries into your development, and it's going to make it harder to correct later on. Well, let's start with card magic. That seems like a good place to start, and here is what started it all. Born to Perform Card Magic from Penguin Magic by Oz Perlman. This teaches 4 routines, and these are routines that I still use to this day, years and years and years later, even at paid gigs. I don't do a lot of card magic that involves, I don't know, this is really kind of in the hands, visual. It's not overly long, and I think this is an amazing place to start. Triumph, also by Oz Perlman from Penguin Magic, is also something that I still use today. This gives you the original Triumph, and then it gives you a lot of other variations. I think that these 2 DVDs are essential to your card magic. Some other ones that definitely started things off are the Illusionist Dvds. So Crash Course, there's volumes 1 and 2 in here. Card Club, we have Ambitious Card by Illusionist, and then I also have other Ambitious Card DVDs. World's Greatest Magic, they put out a lot of really, really good stuff, kind of the best compilations. Then we got Extremely Ambitious by Jay Sankey, Daryl's Ambitious Card. If you get into Ambitious Card, these are good, but these are really good actually, but this is what started it. Ambitious Card by Illusionist. As far as other coin or card magic, that's the name of the second Ninja, but Ninja 1 and 2, they teach you some stuff in here that, some different sleights, moves, flourishes. That was one of the early card magic DVDs. So those were the ones that started me off in card magic. Those really gave me, I was really interested while watching those, and Illusionist was cool. I still think Illusionist is cool. Brad Christian, he was, he was a great teacher. I stayed interested and I wanted to learn more. So that's where I started. To go over kind of where I went from there, I'm not going to get too far into it because there's a lot here. But, you know, everyone, a lot of people anyway, heard of The Royal Road to Card Magic. It's a book, but it also is available on DVD. It's a really great beginner's guide. It's not as exciting as I think the Illusionist Dvds, but it'll teach you all the fundamentals. It's a really good source. This was a huge one for me. I love this series. This is Complete Card Magic. It's a 7-disc series by Jerry Griffiths. Now, he teaches some of the stuff that's in the other DVDs, also a lot of really beginner stuff. There's some really great stuff in here. Obviously, you know, Card College, and that was something I went on to kind of get into. Michael Amar, Easy to Master Card Mysteries. It's, I think, 7 discs, maybe more. No, it's 9 discs. There's some really great stuff in there. It wasn't where I started, but learned a lot from those. Daryl's Encyclopedia of Card Sleights. And I think that's where, well, no, I am going to get into these because Hot Shot Color Changes by Magic Makers. This is all really visual stuff that you can add to a lot of card routines, but they're just fun to learn, just fun to do. And then this was another really big one for me, was 40 Ways to Force a Card by Magic Makers. If you get into Magic, you're going to need to know card forces. What better resource than 40 of them? And then finally, we're going to end it with this one. Show Off with Cards. I think this is by Magic Makers too, yeah. So this is just different flourishes, cuts, but there's also some really valuable moves in here, like false cuts and things like that. So it's not just about flourishes and fancy moves, but there's actually some real working material in here. So let's leave it there with for Card Magic. Like I said, the beginning Penguin DVDs and the beginning Illusionist DVDs. Oh, but with that said, now I did a video on the How to Be a Magician kit just a little while ago, so check that out if you haven't. A lot of the card magic that I just referred to has been updated and retaught in that kit. So, you know, if you're brand new to Magic or you're getting into Magic, pick that up. It's going to save you buying a lot of individual DVDs. Let's get into coin magic. This is what started it for me. In the beginning, there were coins by J. Noblezada, produced and sold by Penguin Magic. This is a great beginner source. A lot of really good, there's some good routines in here, a lot of quick routines and then some lengthier ones, but all your kind of essential moves are in here. And then we also have Modern Coin Magic. This is a 4-disc set by Magic Makers based on the book Modern Coin Magic by Bobo. And then we have David Roth. There's 3 discs on this 1 disc. It used to be a VHS set. There is another good series by Roth, but it involves gimmicks, so I'm not going to list that one because that wasn't one that I started with. Then you have Easy to Master Money Miracles by Michael Amar. This is another lengthy set. Well, not overly actually. It's only three discs. Oh, and then Show Off with Coins. Like I mentioned with the Show Off with Cards, not only are you going to learn some fancy flourishes and things like that, but there is working material in there. And then, of course, by Illusionist, you have Revolution, which was a nice complete coin vanish that is also taught on the How to Be a Magician kit. I think that's kind of it for coin magic. There's so much out there, but I'm just showing you what I started with. So that's it for coin magic. If you find that you are really interested in coin magic, or not even really interested, but if coin magic, if you enjoy it, then definitely check out Danny Goldsmith. Okay, his stuff is probably the most visual coin magic that I've ever seen. The guy's amazing. Again, this isn't beginner stuff, but once you've kind of learned the beginnings of coin magic, I would definitely check out Danny's stuff, because not only does he have amazing material, but he's a great teacher, and he is going to give you so much more than just moves when it comes to coin magic. Let's get into mentalism. So mentalism, or mind reading, predictions, all of that good stuff. This was my go-to. Now I do have the book as well, but at that time I wasn't too interested in reading. I wanted to learn through DVD. So this is the 13 Steps by Corinda, taught by Richard Osterland. Okay, you're going to see a lot of Osterland here. Later on, I went to pick this up. This was just recently, but I do want to mention it because it does have to do with 13 Steps. So this is Osterland's 13 Steps, available at Penguin Magic. Very similar, but this is kind of his take. In the original 13 Steps, he taught it as Corinda wrote it. And in his 13 Steps, he teaches it more from his point of view. We also have The Easy to Master Mental Miracles by Richard Osterland. This is a 4-disc set. And then Richard Osterland Mind Mysteries. This, I think, is a 7-disc set. Yep. Lots of good stuff by Osterland. This is all Osterland, but not where I started. This was a really big one for me. Max Maven's Video Mind. It's a 3-disc set. And then this one, Banachek Psi series. This is a 4-disc set. Okay, so that is where mentalism started for me. I got a whole binder on mentalism, but that was my foundation, and I think that others will agree. Whether some people probably say the book is where you should learn, but you know that those 13 steps is, you know, probably the best place you can start. Some good books are the books by Animan, but I didn't read a lot back then, so you know, check that out. But that's where I started. For those of you who are just getting into mentalism, I told you where I started, but I think a great place for you to start, it's not cheap, but the How to Read Minds kit by Illusionist, taught by Peter Turner, world-renowned mentalist. The guy's brilliant, super nice guy. Don't know him personally. I can just tell by the way he interacts with people, and the way that he teaches. So that's a really good kit. Not all of it's easy, but it is full of material, full of, I guess, it also includes all your props. So while I said this video wasn't going to contain a lot of gimmicked stuff, the fact that this kit comes with it, I think makes it an exception. Comes with the props you need, but like I said, it's not cheap. But if you do kind of start with something cheaper, like the DVDs that I recommended, and you develop a larger interest in mentalism, then I think that's a good early purchase. All right, next we're going to look at some general kind of all around magic. That's backwards. Okay, now this is more specific. I'm not going to go through a lot of these because they're to do with props, like the cups and balls. But this one, Sponge by J. Noblezada and Penguin Magic. Now this comes with 4 sponge balls, and it teaches you everything you need to know on sponge ball magic. This is extremely powerful stuff. It might seem silly or childish, but you know, whether it's you're performing for kids or adults, sponge balls and sponge magic still gets probably the biggest reactions, you know. So it's great stuff. There's some thumb tip magic. This was a little bit later on, but I still think it's a good source. Darwin's Encyclopedia of Thumb Tip Magic. That's a 3-disc set. Another really good one for thumb tip is $100 Miracles by Sankey. Now this teaches bill switches, and I just think there's so much good content on this, and it has to do with thumb tips. Rubber Band Magic. This is a 3-disc set. Dan Harlan's Magic with Rubber Bands. The first disc especially, right? That's going to teach you your crazy man's handcuffs, and you know, a lot of good stuff in there. I didn't get into rope magic until later on, but Daryl has a good set out there. And then Fiber Optics by Richard Sanders. I think rope magic is a good place to start too. So this isn't the easiest stuff, but I think it's really good. Last, we're going to just go into some street magic and some impromptu magic to finish off the video. There's a lot I could mention, but like I said, I want to keep this kind of to where I started, and then obviously I branched off into more advanced stuff, but this was a huge one back in the day. How to Do Street Magic by Illusionist. So this was kind of around the same era when David Blaine had his TV specials. Everybody was super hyped on David Blaine. Chris Angel shortly after, and that's kind of where when this How to Do Street Magic came out. So it tied in with the craze at that time. A lot of good stuff on here. And then finally, just some impromptu magic. I don't want to make this video super long, and I don't want to make it seem like you need all of this stuff, because you know, people starting off in magic or people who are younger don't have a lot of money, and it doesn't cost a lot of money to get into magic, so I don't want to give you that impression. Okay, this one. This is probably, well, this first. On the Spot by Gregory Wilson. This is a, well, the first one was Off the Cuff, which is really good. This was the second one. This is the one I got first, and later on went to get On the Cuff, or Off the Cuff, sorry. But this is full of impromptu magic, things that you can do on the spot, anywhere, anytime, just with objects around you. And then on that note, we have Tom Mollica's Expert Impromptu Magic. It is a 3-disc set, and there is some amazing material in here that you can do anytime, anywhere. All right, so just to wrap things up, if we want the beginner to not have to spend a lot of money, I would recommend Born to Perform Card Magic by Oz Perlman. That's going to give you 4 really solid tricks that will have you learning and performing as soon as you've kind of memorized the steps and practiced. Coin Magic, I would start with In the Beginning There Were Coins by J. Noblezada, and then get Sponge, because sponge ball magic, you are going to see how strong sponge ball magic is. Rubber band magic is good to know just because it's such an inexpensive item to use, and they're everywhere, rubber bands. So I'd go with Dan Harlan's Rubber Band Magic. There are obviously some great rubber band magicians out there. Dr. Cyril Thomas, Joe Rhineflesh, I don't know if I pronounced that right, but anyway, the foundation for me was that first disc from Dan Harlan. And then impromptu magic is always good to learn. I'd go with Gregory Wilson On the Spot. Bit of a different video. Thanks for tuning in. Thanks for sticking around if you did. And if you like this kind of thing, let me know. Like I said, this is just my experience, so this isn't the best. This isn't the end-all, be-all. There's tons and tons and tons of material out there. But if you came here to watch my channel, this is where all I can do is give you my experience and where I started. So that's it. Anyway, I don't want this to go longer than it needs to. It probably already has. So thanks again. Thanks for tuning in. We'll see you at the next video.